Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Well, good Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, the 18th of March. I hope you had a fabulous St. Patrick's Day. I know that we did at WJR. I hope you were tuned in a little bit at one point or another from noon to 2. Although if you missed it, you could tune in still. You can podcast it at WJR.com or the free WJR app. You could be streaming us right now. And, of course, Facebook and YouTube pages back to live streaming today. And we loved having the Corktown Popes, who learned, thanks to Ray Templin, our engineer. He got him to learn Carla with a K, the theme you're hearing right now in the background from the Hooters.
He made a request.
He did make a request, and it came through beautifully with the Corktown Popes. Dave Yirasek, Paul Goodman, Jason Kewen, and Terry Burns did a nice job. I'm sorry to say that they've got their farewell show coming up at the Caju Cafe March 26th. So that's going to be it. They're breaking up after many, many years. They told me it was just time. March 26th, Caju Cafe, farewell show of the Corktown Popes. Hope you can get there. I have so many people to thank that I thanked yesterday, but it's a flurry, you know. How many guests did you book, Mike Parsons?
So they asked me to count, and I got 55 guests that we had on yesterday. 55 guests, yeah. Which is unheard of. And you threw, did you count the ones that you threw in at the last minute? Yes, I did count that.
All right, good.
Someone stole my voice, too.
Oh, is your voice?
It's a little hoarse, yeah.
Well, you had to do a lot of talking over loud noises.
Right.
So I start with you, Mike Parsons. Thank you for the very good job. Totally different than your daily job. And Danielle Mason, totally different than her daily job. Yeah. Danielle was on location with us, which she ought to do more because she likes getting out of the booth and coming and having fun with us. And she did a great job. Well, she assisted you, so you should say she did a great job.
Yeah, I could not have done what I did yesterday without Danielle. If Danielle was not there, the whole thing would have fallen off the rails. So thank you, Danielle.
Welcome. Thank you, Danielle. God bless you. And Rich Luzinski, we did not see him, but he kept up the pace of WJR traffic and weather first that you can depend on. I mentioned Ray Templin. He had the tough job in the midst of all of the activity of trying to balance the band and all the 5 or 6 microphones that had to be on. And he did it from across the room, basically, which made it a little more difficult. But Ray Templin, great job as one of our great engineers that have to do more remotes than any radio station in the country. And then Dominic Valentini was helping out back at the Golden Tower, the Fisher Building, running all the controls.
A lot of curveballs, and he did great. He knocked them all out of the park. So great job, Dominic.
You told me you sent him some curveballs, which I was not even aware of.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, it was happening. I didn't even know it.
Keep it simple. Just a need-to-know basis. It was, but
well, you know, you have to keep it simple for your host.
Yeah,
I admit that for sure. I thank these folks for the gift bags, but this again was at the end. I want to thank them now without the fog. Crispelli's, Dave's Sweet Tooth Toffee, Mano's Pita Chips, the Grand Traverse Pie Company, and Mitch's own brown bag popcorn, which was included in all of the goodie bags, including beer steins. Is that what you call them? Beer steins?
I think technically they're pint glasses.
Pint glasses that had our little logo on there, and also said that they were sponsored by Visit Detroit, so their little logo was on there as well. I announced, and I don't know if either you two probably didn't hear this, but I announced that our dear friend, fellow Monroeite, Jeff Marcero, who's been at the station as long as anybody or longer, Vice President of Sales, Cumulus Detroit, his lovely wife, Wendy, well, he told me, and I announced it, his son, Adam Marcero, and lovely wife, Sarah, have announced they're expecting their first baby, September 14th.
All right.
So Jeff and Wendy are over the moon, and they'll be first-time grandparents in the making. Jeff and Wendy, so very excited for Adam and Sarah, and we are so excited for them too. They'll get tired of hearing this, but yes, I knew Adam as a little boy, just like I said to Mike Bouchard, candidate Mike Bouchard, the son of Mike Bouchard and Pam. I knew him when he was a little boy. These things happen when you're around a long while. How did the special broadcast with Ken Hayward, Mark Hollis, Terry Radican do, the WJR Spotlight, sponsored by Visit Detroit last night, 7 to 9? Did you? I did not hear.
I did not hear it, but with those guys, I'm sure it was fantastic.
Excellent. One thing I mentioned, but again, maybe you guys didn't hear this. Lloyd Jackson is, for the first time, being a grandfather with a grandson.
Oh, all right.
He's had granddaughters, but as I understood it, in all of everything that was going on, he came over to tell me that now he has a grandson.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Listen to this. Lloyd Jackson III, and they call him Trip.
Oh, that's really cute
cool
for triple. But Lloyd Jackson III, that's a lot of gravitas. If he wants to put that on a resume, I'd be like, ooh, that sounds regal.
You don't have to put anything else on, son. Come on aboard. All right, let's see. Then Ryan came on after us. He did great. I saw it. I know Mitch was coming because Lath, the great Metro car driver of all time.
Your head of security, I call him.
My head of security, Lath, dropped me off and then went back out and picked up Mitch to take him out. And then Lomas Brown Jr. and AB, Anthony Bellina, was there. It was a heck of a party. And we thank all the hardworking people at the event site, Doyle's Irish Pub at St. John's. That really is quite a place. And from what I could tell, everyone was having a ball.
Yeah, everyone did seem to have a good time. And, we heard it from John Selleck yesterday. I got a nice note from one of our guests, just how great it is to get, all those people from business and politics, both sides of the aisle, just in a room to just enjoy each other. And
it was a great mix of Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah. And
which is the point you're getting at.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal these days. It's sad, but it's true. It's a big deal. And we feel very proud about that we have done our best to be fair. I mean, people know where I stand on a lot of issues. Well, I'm going to change my stance here. I just learned this. I've been blaming the Democrats for not doing the vote, and therefore, when you go to the airport, it's hell. And these poor TSA workers, not to mention Coast Guard, which we don't run into Coast Guard people all the time, but these folks aren't getting paid, and that's wrong. And I've been holding the Democrats completely responsible for that. But I just learned today, and I don't have the facts, so I'm still holding the Democrats responsible until someone can show me. Apparently, Republicans last week maybe voted down some kind of bill that somebody offered that would have gotten TSA and the others, like 4 other departments, Coast Guard, DHS, whatever, paid. Do you know anything about that? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't. But it's almost like both sides are playing fast and loose here.
Yes,
not everybody, but some.
Both sides are, which is why, I think Mike Duggan made a brilliant move, giving people a third choice, walking down the middle of the politics of the day, because people feel disillusioned. The worldwide threat to homeland hearings are underway, but so is the speech from our Vice President of the United States, Mr. Vance, is in Auburn Hills at the Engineering Design Services. And there's some other kind of hearing going on. I mean, there's something, there's too much going on.
Oh, and one thing I do want to get out there, Paul, before 1 o'clock, there's a statewide tornado drill at 1 o'clock.
I saw that last night, and I can't find it now. I think you sent it to me.
Yeah, it's on the stack. So, yeah, if you hear the sirens, because I know theirs are still a little raw from a couple weeks ago. But
of course, that's a good thing to remind them.
Yeah.
So it's at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
It used to be noon?
Maybe
some sirens used to be tested at noon.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't account for the time change yet. I don't know. I know like the first Saturday of the month at 1 p.m. they always test them, but I think they're doing a special one today for severe weather awareness week or something.
Yeah, Severe Weather Awareness Week, you wrote here. 2026 statewide tornado drill happening today at 1 o'clock. So I'm so glad you brought that up, because you're right. We're all on edge. And why wouldn't we be with everything that's going on? We're on edge. And you hear a bunch of sirens going off. I'm getting it all the time on my phone.
Right.
That the Ring network is a little annoying, because every lost cat or dog comes up like a bulletin.
Right.
But you get other stuff too, and one of them is, did anyone else hear those gunshots? Well, who the hell wants to hear that? I mean, what?
No matter where you live, your local Ring or Facebook community, we're all the same.
Right. And I look at the map, and it said actual location not shown for security. Well, how the heck does that help us if we don't know the actual location of where there are gunshots?
Just keep your head on a swivel.
I have to get out my Patriot missiles, my bazookas, all the stuff I carry and keep at home.
Right, for security.
My homeland security. If nobody else is going to do it, I'm going to. Anyway, all right, we've got a lot to talk about. I think we thanked everybody. I thank our audience, too, for being there and a part of this broadcast every year. I think I saw there was a story out, and I think JP started it 41 years ago. I think he did the show, the St. Patrick's Day party, for 10 years, about 10 years. We've done it for 30 years.
Wow.
So it will always be called JP's St. Patrick's Day party. I'm accustomed to that. But we've done it 3 times longer, and it's grown, and it's been fabulous. And we thank everybody who participated and, again, showed up, as you wisely pointed out, Mike. It was not political. We had Democrats, we had Republicans. We gave them all time and enjoyed speaking with them. And it shows that they believe that this program is a friendly entity for all. Doesn't mean we're going to fall over and agree with either side all the time, but friendly entity for all. All right, let's get underway here with Relentless Positive Radio. No more party today. We're right into the news on WJR. Well, I'll tell you, the sounds, the smells, the warmth of spring finally arriving here in Michigan, and so has the threat of those nasty spring storms. Many of us have gotten caught off guard with power outages that storms can leave behind. I have. I've already had at least 2 power outages this season. Thank God, and I do mean thank God, that we were able to get a whole house generator some time ago. And of course, I called Family Heating, and they held my hand through that whole situation. They're even bigger and better now. When I say bigger and better, actually, the generators are smaller. I got a big old one because that's what they had when I did that. But now they're smaller, and they are so powerful and so good. If you get caught off guard with power outages, here's what happened for me. Power went out, and then it came right back on, because that's when the generator automatically kicked in. My friends at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical are always here to help. There's no company I trust more, because I know the family. I know the company. I know none of their people work on commission. And when I say the family, it's still the Klempert family, basically, the Palco Klempert family now, the next generation here. This year, be ready for Mother Nature with a reliable standby generator. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical offers generator installations, maintenance, and repairs. If your generator is not serviced by a certified technician, it will void the manufacturer's warranty. And if you don't receive maintenance after 200 hours of runtime, that can also void your warranty. The technicians at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical are Generac certified to keep your generator working, with locations in Garden City, Madison Heights, and White Lake. They've been serving Southeast Michigan for over 55 years. Dan Palco, Crystal Klempert Palco, the next generation, still all part of the family. And I hope you'll become part of the family. You'll be glad you did. Visit familyheating.com. Familyheating.com. You can schedule your free estimate today, or anything you need. Familyheating.com. Mike, let me ask you a quick question. Did I think the people at Doyle's Irish Pub and St. John's?
Just thank them one more time to be safe.
Well, I'll thank them one more time. And I don't know if there was a person, I get to just come walking in an hour before the broadcast. You've been there for days with your sleeping bag. Is there anyone we need to thank, one person or not? Of course, Mary, who comes to every event we do and volunteers.
Yeah, I'll
Sweet
check.
Mary. Check if there's any, because I certainly would want to give them thanks. Okay, we continue in focus on WJR.
Escape to the greens with the Cardinal Stay and Play Golf Package at St. John's Resort. Enjoy luxury accommodations and 1 round of golf for 2 on the beautiful Cardinal Golf Course, plus unlimited rounds on the Little Cardinal and the putting course. Whether you're sharpening your short game or chasing the perfect drive, it's the ultimate getaway for golfers of every level. Relax, play, and make unforgettable memories. Book your Stay and Play experience today at stjohnsresort.com.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by respected educator Dr. Robert Livernoy. It's a conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by Wakely Associates Architects. The highest performing school facilities start with premier architectural design. Wakely Associates Architects, trusted since 1951.
Hair volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or a delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Boeing at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Experience live professional theater at Thumb Coast Theaters in downtown St. Clair and Marine City, where the magic of Broadway comes alive right here at home. Don't miss Boeing, the hilarious comedy where one flight captain, 3 fiancés, and a flight schedule collide. Book your tickets today at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Some stop and go on the Jeffries westbound between Levan and I-275. We still have that construction project blocking your 2 left lanes. Watch out for an accident on Hamlin Road, westbound, approaching Squirrel Road. We also have a crash on I-75 northbound at M59. That accident closes your 75 northbound on-ramp from westbound M59. And we have a wreck blocking your right shoulder on I-75 northbound at the Davison as well. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
A dry, cold Wednesday afternoon. A south breeze, though, will start helping push temperatures up. Still unseasonably chilly today. Cloudy, 38. Tonight, 35. So we don't see too much of a drop. Suburbs might get a little bit colder. And then later tomorrow morning into the afternoon, a quick moving clipper will bring a little rain. 50. Friday, 55 and partly sunny. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
More than just a radio show, it's an entertaining daily look at the heart of the community. The Mitch Albom Show, making a difference in your life. 4 till 6 p.m. on 760 WJR.
I can never thank these people enough. I'll do it one more quick time because I did this on the show, but they couldn't have heard it because they were so busy. And that would include Mike Parsons, Danielle Mason, Rich Luzinski, Ray Templin, Dave Rieger, Ron Smerigan, Ann Thomas, our program director. And if there's one person who knows, wouldn't you agree, Mike, if there's one person who knows how tough this is, it would be Ann Thomas, because she did it for years with us. We thank Dominic Valentini, also Jeff Marcero, the director of sales, now soon to be Grandpa. I don't know what they'll call him. Papa, maybe? He'll always be Jeff to us. And then Steve Finateri, our fearless leader. And it's not easy leading a radio company. He does it for Detroit and for Ann Arbor, all the Cumulus stations. Mike Wheeler, the account executives who go to bat every day so that we can still provide free radio. So when a WJR, when an account executive identifies themselves as being with WJR, please listen to them and understand that we can help you, as we have helped thousands of clients over the years do very well. So thank you to our account executives and the countless teammates behind the scenes that I couldn't possibly name them all, but they do supportive work in the background. And again, you wouldn't have this great voice of the Great Lakes without their work. The team, the team, the team. I do believe now I've gotten everybody. Is that right, Mike? I know you're probably on the phone with our next guest, but hopefully. Is that everybody? Did we get everybody? Did we get everybody? Okay. You sound harried and hassled like you're doing a St. Patrick's Day broadcast. It's over. It ended yesterday. Okay. David Dulio, a distinguished professor of political science department, director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University, is with us. There's an awful lot going on here. We've got Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, the Homeland Security Secretary nominee. That's just another hearing that's going on. I figured out, David, Professor David, this is apparently what our government has come down to. Having hearings and showboating, depending on if it's a Democrat or a Republican. We already know what Democrats are going to say or what Republicans are going to say, depending on who the person is. There's like 4 hearings going on right now. Nice to have you back, Professor.
Well, thanks for having me back, Paul W. And you couldn't be more right. The hearing process and activity that Congress engages in started off as a real thing with a real purpose. It was to gather information in the case of the hearing with Senator Mullins to be DHS secretary. It was to investigate their qualifications for serving in a cabinet position. Sometimes there are oversight hearings where the legislative branch is supposed to check up on the executive branch as part of the shared power system, right? All very legitimate and important things. But it's really starting in the 70s when we got C-SPAN, but it's taken off in recent years with the advent and domination of social media. They have become just showboating chances for members to get that sound bite that they can share on their social media platform and go viral.
What do you tell your kids in class about these sorts of things?
That they need to realize what it is. That it's a performance in many ways, and that they have to try to read between the lines to get the important information that's there.
I just wanted to say that the Senate debated what some are calling the Save America Act. Some are just calling it the Save Act, depending on where you stand on all of this. They debated it yesterday. How did that debate go?
Oh, as you'd expect, right? I mean, everybody's in their partisan camp on this. It's not like there are going to be any surprises or revelations. We know how all the senators are going to vote on this, just because it's so divisive.
And showing ID to vote should not be that big of a deal. Well, I go back to the communist in New York City who insisted on 2 pieces of identification for anybody who wanted to donate their services to shovel snow. I rest my case. I'm told, Professor, we have to move along. Distinguished Professor, Political Science Department, Director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University. I promise you more time next time, David. He's gone. Thank you much as we continue in focus on WJR. Well, March is your lucky month if you're ready to live pain-free, a pain-free life, thanks to Michigan's Lucky Charm, Dr. Saul Kogan. He looked great yesterday and fit as a fiddle. He's at the Nerve and Disc Institute. It's his Nerve and Disc Institute, his non-surgical, non-invasive treatments for severe and chronic back, neck, and knee pain. You could join thousands of patients like me and Kim, or Bob, a retired police officer who had a bulging disc, couldn't walk, and now has no pain at all when on his feet 7 hours straight working security. Or Christina, who had 7 bulging discs and is now pain-free. Intradisc Neutrosis helps people with spinal stenosis, bulging and herniated discs, sciatica pain, and degenerative disc disease avoid spine surgery. And Knee Restore RX helps those with osteoarthritis, meniscus tears, and muscle strains avoid knee replacement without shots, pills, or downtime. And lucky you, mention WJR in March and get a consultation, exam, x-ray, or MRI review, and laser treatment for only $49 for your first visit. $49. But you got to mention WJR when you contact the Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and now Bad Axe. Call them 586-416-DISC, 586-416-DISC, or 586-416-3472. That's 586-416-3472. The Nerve and Disc Institute on WJR with Paul W. Smith.
This is Maria Monti, tax partner at Metro Detroit accounting firm Schindel Rock, with our weekly tax tip for business owners. Whether you just started your business or have been in business for many years, you should make sure your current entity structure still makes sense. Tax laws are always changing, and the tax structure you started out with may not be as effective for what your business is today or what it will be in the future. Schindel Rock helps Metro Detroit businesses solve complex tax matters. Learn more at SchindelRock.com.
Whether you're starting an office, industrial, public sector, or healthcare real estate project, you're going to have questions.
How should we approach construction?
Are we getting the best real estate advice?
Lots of questions. At Plant Moran Real Point, our multidisciplinary team of real estate experts have decades of experience successfully guiding Michigan's largest real estate projects from concept to completion. Here's our point. To find the commercial real estate answers and guidance you need to succeed, let Plant Moran Real Point point the way. Learn more at pmrealpoint.com.
Clark Construction Company is one of the premier construction managers in Michigan for K-12 education. They assist districts with bond planning, facility assessments, and bond campaigns. They manage the construction to help districts fulfill their promise to their community till the school doors open on time for fall, all while keeping students and staff's safety top of mind. Clark's breadth of capabilities ensures that they can meet their clients' needs every time on every front. Details at clarkcc.com.
Hennion and Walsh was made for people like you, people who understand the value of experienced, highly skilled professionals. That's why you'll have access to a team of specialists to help you invest for the life you want. Why? You've earned it. We're Hennion and Walsh, and a team built around you. Get a second opinion. Call 800-279-5279 or find us online. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Hennion & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hennion & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. A conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by Collins and Blaha, attorneys at law, specializing in the representation of school districts. Collins and Blaha, your education experts. collinsandblaha.com. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your art journey, Do Michelle's invites you to discover something extraordinary this March. Explore an extensive estate jewelry collection including Cartier and Tiffany. Fine art from important private collections, works by renowned modern masters, and a curated selection of mid-century modern and traditional furnishings. Join online or in person March 19th and 20th with preview open now. Visit DUMOArt.com to learn more and bid. Dumichel's, your number one place to buy art in the Midwest.
Oh, that's a great place, Dumichel's, that's for sure. Speaking of great places, Marygrove Awnings, what a great place. What a great guy, the leader. I've known Mike Fallahy for a long time. He is a good friend, and his family's been running Marygrove in Detroit for over 90 years. 90 years. That means they were building shade in this town before most companies even existed. In fact, many companies have come and gone in that period of time. They still do it the Detroit way, strong, precise, built to last. Marygrove only makes motorized awnings, no crank handles, no gimmicks. Hit the remote, instant shade. Rain coming in, adjust the pitch. Sun goes down, built-in LED lights. Wind kicks up, add the sensor. It rolls it in automatically to protect it. Premium framing, fully enclosed housing to protect the fabric, backed by a 10-year warranty. And here's what really separates them, as if all that doesn't, but it does. Marygrove can often complete the entire process in as little as 48 hours. That's not 6 weeks. That's not, we'll get back to you. That's this week still. No third-party installers, no dealer games. Real Marygrove employees start to finish. If you're going to put something on your home, make it something built by a Detroit company that's been doing it right for over 90 years. Go to marygrove.com, marygrove.com, or call 1-800-44-AWNING, 1-800-44-AWNING. Schedule the free in-home appointment. Be sure to tell them Paul W. sent you. And Mike Fallahy and Pam were there yesterday at the party. He said business is going great. Thank you for responding. Marygrove, Detroit tough, 90 years strong. Go to marygrove.com or call 1-800-44-AWNING. Schedule your free in-home appointment and be sure to tell them Paul W. sent you. That'll help a lot. We continue in focus at 12:36.
Never miss
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose. The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose
of Deets. The Daily Dose of Deets. The top of mind topics and stories.
Because America keeps building, innovating, and growing.
But at a depth and breadth that only Kevin Dietz can conceive.
Love doesn't have to be built on these grand gestures.
It's can't miss radio.
You can't fake that kind of leadership Verlander is going to be able to bring to Scooball.
Kevin's own unique take on news and entertainment that'll get you talking all day.
Social media should not get a pass just because it's digital.
And into tomorrow. The Daily Dose of Dietz. First thing out of the gate on All Talk with Kevin Dietz. Weekdays at 9 on WJR. Thanks for listening to WJR and Focus. Here's Paul W. Smith.
Happy to welcome Noah Arbit, state representative, the Democrat from West Bloomfield, Commerce Township. Noah, welcome to the show. Nice to have you here. Focus with Paul W. Smith.
Thanks for having me.
This is a very personal story. We know that Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel, several state lawmakers, beginning of the week, pushed for action against terrorism and anti-Semitism in the wake of the attack. And it was a very bad attack, obviously, at Temple, Israel. It could have been worse if people weren't ready, but they were ready. I wish they didn't have to be, but they were ready. And when I say this is personal to State Representative Noah Arbit, his parents were married at Temple, Israel. Noah went to Hebrew school there. He was bar mitzvahed there. He hopes to get married there. So this is very personal to you. Are we doing the right things we need to do to prepare for these problems?
Yes, thank you. It is very personal to me. This is, this was an attack on my home in more ways than one. This is my congregation. This is my hometown. And, to feel like people had first heard of West Bloomfield across the country because of the hate someone tried to inflict on us has been really challenging. And I want them to know West Bloomfield and Temple, Israel for the response of the security team and WVPD and the fire department and the way the Chaldean community showed up for the Jewish community. That's really what defines our community. And in terms of, solutions, I actually think that there's hope on the horizon. There's a lot that we can be doing. I in my first term, I actually ran for office, on the issue of preventing and, taking on hate crimes. I passed the Michigan Hate Crime Act and the Institutional Desecration Act, which, ensured that Michigan has the toughest and most stringent penalties for hate crimes against individuals, as well as houses of worship and, businesses and other types of institutions of any state in the nation. But clearly, those bills are not enough. Those laws are not enough to prevent. And so what we have to work on now is prevention. And so what I'm working on now is to form a statewide strategy on how do we combat hate crimes, political violence, domestic terrorism, extremist violence, all of those types of things. And the way we do that is by bringing together mental health professionals, education professionals, people who are, experts on social media and domestic terrorism, all of these kinds of different, fields together, and then forming an office within the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services on prevention. And then, outsourcing some of this work to some, nonprofits and other groups who do this for a living, and making sure that Michigan has the programming through schools and other types of institutions where we're able to, head off radicalization before it turns into violence. Because what we know is that if we head off people, on that, this kind of violence is escalatory. And so there's a ladder of escalation before someone commits a terrorist attack like this or a hate crime. And so if we get them while they're just, sort of imbibing this extremist content online, and, they're starting to, have, troubling, statements or whatever, and we sort of are able to break that link before it gets to violence, that's how we're going to be able to do, to prevent these crimes.
Well put, Noah Arbit, state representative, Democrat from West Bloomfield, Commerce Township. And you said something that Nolan Finley actually ended up writing about, and that is, quote, these are your words, the more anti-Jewish hate speech and anti-Zionist conspiracies are normalized and mainstream, the easier it is becoming for more people to view all Jews collectively as legitimate targets for violence. As you and I both know, Noah, this has been happening for a while now, especially on college campuses, and they get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do about that?
I think it's incredibly concerning. And, I think the biggest message that I have for your audience, and especially for people who aren't Jewish, is that, there are ways to talk about no one is saying that, you can't criticize the state of Israel or American policy towards Israel. No one is saying that that is anti-Semitic. But it's the way we do it. It's the way you talk about it. There are ways that you could talk about anything where you dial up the rhetoric to 15 instead of keeping it at a 5 or a 6, which is healthy. And the way that people are talking about Israel and the United States' relationship with Israel is incredibly conspiratorial. It's incredibly dangerous, and it fuels violence. It legitimates violence against Jewish communities. And so, for example, there's a profound difference in stating, for example, take AIPAC, which is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, a political outfit that, does a lot to support candidates who are, quote, pro-Israel, whatever that means. There's a difference between saying, AIPAC and Zionists control the U.S. government and their influence must be quashed. That is incredibly heated and inflammatory and incendiary rhetoric versus saying, I don't agree with AIPAC, and I think that their policies are wrong. I oppose their policies, and I think that they have too much influence in Congress, and we should hold accountable people who agree with them. That is an entirely different thing in terms of its impact. One is conspiratorial, one puts Jews in danger, and the other is a legitimate political critique. And so what we're asking and what we need for people to do is when they're talking about these issues, to be very cognizant of the language and the rhetoric that they're using, and to make sure that when they're talking about these things, that they keep it in the space of legitimate political discourse and legitimate political critique versus conspiracies that, really do a lot to, further that escalation, that ladder of escalation towards eventually violence, because people get radicalized by that incendiary rhetoric.
Very well put. Noah Arbit, state representative, Democrat from West Bloomfield, Commerce Township. We look forward to our next conversation as we continue Focus with Paul W. Smith on WJR. Well, I met so many people yesterday, and we brought so many of them on the air, including some of the great people from a new partner here with Focus in WJR, Estate Planning Legal Services, PC. I need you to know this, no matter what you hear here or anywhere else about investments, retirement, all of that, that's all well and good, but this is very important to know and embrace. Probate is bad. It's slow. It's expensive. It's completely public. But the good news is you can avoid probate entirely with a revocable living trust. A revocable living trust keeps you in control of the who, the what, and the when. Who receives your assets, what assets they receive, and when they receive them. And when your assets are properly owned by or payable to the trust, you bypass probate and you protect your family from the delays and costs that come with it. Now you say, I don't have enough money when I die. That's not true, my friend. When you add everything up, your home, everything else up, you do. You need this help. And at Estate Planning Legal Services, their attorneys are going to walk you through every step. They will help retitle your assets at no charge. And if you need any changes in the future, they're free for life. With more than 25 years serving Metro Detroit families, they know how to make the process clear, affordable, and stress-free. Get the peace of mind you deserve. Contact Estate Planning Legal Services today for your free consultation. I'm going to. I hope you will too. Learn how a revocable living trust can work for you and for your family. Contact Estate Planning Legal Services at 248-435-0400. That's 248-435-0400. Or go to EPLSPC.com, as in Estate Planning Legal Services, PC.com, EPLSPC.com, or call them at 248-435-0400. You and your family will be very glad you made this move. We continue in Focus on WJR.
Spring is in the air. Hi friends, Bill Golling here, and with the addition of Golling Chevrolet on Michigan Avenue in Wayne and Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Mack in Detroit, now even more of you can see and experience the Golling difference. Those dealerships join Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram locations in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, Golling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham, Golling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Golling Toyota in Warren, Golling Kia in Madison Heights, or you can always find us at golling.com.
Planning spring business travel? Start your trip the professional way with Metro Cars. Let a professional Metro Car chauffeur pick you right up at your doorstep and take you directly to curbside check-in. For executives and corporate travelers, time and reliability matter, whether you're catching an early morning flight, arriving for an important meeting, or arranging transportation for visiting clients and leadership teams. Metro Cars provides dependable airport transportation designed around your schedule. With experienced chauffeurs on a premium fleet of sedans, SUVs, vans, and buses, Metro Cars delivers a comfortable, quiet ride that allows you to stay focused and arrive prepared. Celebrating over 35 years of excellence, Metro Cars is proud to serve as the official transportation provider of 760 WJR. When your schedule matters and professionalism counts, trust the transportation company Michigan business travelers have relied on for 4 decades. Reserve your ride today at metrocars.com.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription. And I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it, because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, At stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday. Let's do this Monday. ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaid spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
At Average House Furniture Warehouse, our sofas have cushions, our tables have 4 legs, our recliners recline. So come on by for a perfectly average experience.
Cumulus Digital doesn't stop at average. We work with more than 4,000 local businesses every month, delivering campaigns that beat industry averages by over 25%, driving real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Service didn't define their story, but it shaped their foundation. Hear inspirational stories about our veterans as they transition from military service to civilian life on The Veterans Blueprint. Sponsored by VetLife, Sundays at 6 a.m. on 760 WJR.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at amazonbusiness.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by WeatherBug.
Get the fastest local alerts and accurate 24/7 forecasts with WeatherBug. It's easy to use and provides real-time customizable alerts so the weather never takes you by surprise. Plan every day with confidence. Download the free WeatherBug app from the App Store now.
That wreck on I-75 northbound at the Davison is cleared. Only wreck we have on the books right now, I-75 northbound at M59. That's blocking your 2 right lanes. Also causing some stop and go on M59 westbound between Adams Road and I-75. And keep in mind, 14 Mile Road still closed due to that broken water main eastbound and westbound between Drake Road and Farmington Road. Please avoid until further notice. Authorities are still unsure as to when this will reopen. We'll be sure to let you know when it does. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. Thinking about a new roof? Make the smart choice with Weather Seal Home Improvements. Right now, when you replace your roof, you'll get a $500 gas card. A beautiful new roof for your home, plus $500 in gas? Yeah, that's a good deal. Schedule today at weathersealhomeimprovements.net. Here's your forecast.
The cold sticking around. Chilly Wednesday afternoon. South breeze and 38 should do it. Mainly cloudy and staying dry. Cloudy tonight, 35, so we don't drop too much. Suburbs could dip closer to 30 degrees, maybe some 20s around. Mainly cloudy tomorrow in the morning. Then we'll start to see a little bit of rain come in as the morning goes on, up near 50. The rain moves away pretty quickly tomorrow night. Then Friday, partly sunny and even milder, 55. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Sponsored by Femininio Law. GetDavidGetPaid.com. Traffic and weather is sponsored by Femininio Law. Get David, get paid.
You need more than just a great lawyer. You need a great team. And only Femininio Law has the accident response team. We're out there working on day one to get your life back and to get you paid. Call 855-65-CRASH or visit GetDavidGetPaid.com.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
A couple that were missing yesterday at the party, Brian and Marcy McMahon, have made every one of those St. Patrick's Day celebrations, and for good reason. He is Ohio's best leprechaun, Brian McMahon in Toledo, and it was his birthday yesterday on St. Patrick's Day. Coming up, Michigan and MSU baseball in a non-conference matchup this afternoon. And don't forget, at 1 p.m., statewide tornado drill. You're going to hear sirens. Do not be alarmed. It is only a drill. Yesterday, Rocky Retzkowski was with us, and he is a retired lieutenant colonel of the U.S. Army. He's here with us now, and weighing in on a couple of things. First of all, former director of the United States National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, resigns over the war in Iran. Fill us in on that, Rocky. By the way, it was great seeing you yesterday, but fill us in on that. I haven't heard too much about this guy.
Yeah, it was great to see you as well, Paul W. I actually know Joe. I've met him over a period of time. He's a great warrior. He was a great warrior. He was a chief warrant officer in the United States Army, in the Special Forces, in working with 1st Special Forces Group. He did 11 tours of duty, but his politics were a little bit different. He first started off as a Democrat, then he became a Libertarian, and from Libertarian, he switched over to the Republican Party and supported Donald Trump. His first wife, he was married twice. His first wife was a Navy cryptologist who happened to be on a tour of duty to Aleppo, Syria. If you remember, about 4 or 5 years back, there was a terrorist bombing in Aleppo. She was actually killed in that bombing, and it changed him. And he was not. I don't know where he's coming from, but he wrote his resignation on his letterhead, and he basically took shots at the state of Israel. And quite frankly, I have no idea where he's coming from or where his intelligence is coming from. But from everything that I've seen, Iran is a terrorist state, and we've all known this. Everybody's known this. And so I don't know why he would take a position different from the president's.
Well, how important is he?
Not very important right now, especially right now. He was the director of counterintelligence working for Tulsi Gabbard, who was the DNI, the director of national intelligence. And in the big scheme of things, he works with our military, as well as our civil intelligence, the CIA, the FBI, as well as the DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency, to gather intelligence and prepare for making sure that he was the director of the group that made sure that our nation was secure from any terrorist attack or counter-terrorist attack. But you know what? He does have deputies that are doing a lot of the work. So his replacement will probably show up very quickly.
Having visited Cuba, as we have, the only people who are suffering in Cuba are the Cuban people, not the government. But now the government might be working with this government. Just a quick summary. You think it's going to go well?
Yeah, I really do, because, follow the money. If you get tight and things start falling apart, you got to go to those that can help you out. And the U.S. kind of did the same thing we did in almost 1963 with another Cuban Missile Crisis, or we embargoed them economically, and basically now they are falling apart internally with people uprising against the Communist Party.
Rocky, I appreciate your input. Rocky Retzkowski here on WJR.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/groundadvantage to learn more.
Williams International in Pontiac is looking for skilled trades talent able to work second and third shifts and will be hosting an on-site job fair Wednesday, March 18th from 4 till 7 p.m. To learn more, visit the careers page at williams-int.com. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your art journey, Dumichels invites you to discover something extraordinary this March. Explore an extensive estate jewelry collection including Cartier and Tiffany, fine art from important private collections, works by renowned modern masters, and a curated selection of mid-century modern and traditional furnishings. Join online or in person March 19th and 20th with preview open now. Visit DUMOArt.com to learn more and bid. Dumichels, your #1 place to buy art in the Midwest. Buddy's Pizza, the official pizza of NCAA tournament coverage on WJR. Buddy's iconic squares and crispy, crunchy corners have made memories in the Motor City since 1946. Celebrate 80 years of the original Detroit-style pizza at your local Buddy's today.
This is the great voice of the Great Lakes, 760 WJR, Detroit, a Cumulus media station.
What the president knew. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's a big part of the focus at a Senate hearing on worldwide threats, where Operation Epic Fury in Iran is taking center stage.
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was an imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime?
The intelligence community assessed that Iran maintained the intention to rebuild and to continue to grow their nuclear enrichment.
Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard telling Georgia Democratic Senator John Ossoff that only the president can determine what is or is not an imminent threat.
You're here to be timely, objective, and independent of political considerations.
Exactly what I'm doing.
No, you're evading a question because to provide a candid response to the committee would contradict a statement from the White House.
Gabbard also telling senators the Iranian regime is intact but degraded due to attacks on its leadership and military. Israel killing Iran's intelligence minister overnight, the third top official in 2 days. President Trump, meantime, set to attend the dignified transfer for 6 U.S. service members killed in a crash over Iraq after an accident involving 2 refueling planes. His nominee for Homeland Security Secretary, Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, telling senators he'll work with any member of Congress if confirmed.
My goal is for people to understand we're out there, we're protecting them, and we're working with them. My goal is to make every one of you guys proud. My goal for those that don't support me, regret not supporting me.
Mullen also criticizing an ongoing partial government shutdown at DHS, warning it's playing with fire. Democrats pushing for immigration enforcement reform criticize Republicans for blocking funding of other DHS agencies. Vice President Vance with a message to voters.
Support the people who fight for you, and that is Donald J. Trump and the entire leadership of this party.
Speaking a short time ago in Michigan, America is listening to Fox News.
This is a test of the emergency alert system.
Are you concerned about outliving your money? If so, tune in to Money Talks with Joseph Uplegger, Saturdays at 5 p.m. Joe will help make sure you get the retirement you deserve, Saturdays at 5 p.m. right here on WJR 760.
Michigan is building. The construction trade unions of the Michigan Building and Construction Trades Council and their employer partners at Musk Construction Careers are looking for qualified, motivated applicants for apprenticeship opportunities. Earn while you learn and graduate debt-free. Construction skilled trade careers include great wages, benefits, and retirement. Learn more about construction skilled trades apprenticeships by visiting mustcareers.org. M-U-S-T careers.org. Management and unions serving together.
Hi, it's Dave Lorenz. The key to a great getaway is to know a bit about the place and to leave plenty of opportunity for discovery. We'll show you the way on the Michigan Travel Show, Sundays at 4 on 760 WJR.
You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Welcome in to hour number 2. Good day. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's hour number 2.
Page 2.
Page 2. And we there's always going to be somebody else. I don't know how to say this. We thank everybody who had anything to do with the very successful St. Patrick's Day celebration yesterday. But one that we can't forget, right at the top, is Sarah Carr, the director of marketing at the beautiful St. John's. And St. John's is a beautiful location, destination for any of your events, not to mention a great place to play golf, but it's a great place to have parties and weddings and all kinds of good things. So Sarah Carr, director of marketing at St. John's. And then, of course, we were in Doyle's Irish Pub. Just a great venue, and we thank you very much for that. The team, Mike Parsons, Danielle Mason, Rich Luzinski, helping us to provide you with relentless positive radio while you're on your way to making each and every day count, because you know each day is a gift. We don't know how much QTR we have, as Kim reminds us, because I forget. Quality time remaining, QTR. Don't know? Live a good life. If you're not living the life you always thought you'd live, change. Start. Yeah, I know I'm making it sound easy, but it can be done. You are not locked in as much as you think that you are. And I do thank you for choosing to be an important part of the best and brightest audience in all of radio. And that happens when you listen to WJR at all, whether you're tuning in for your daily dose of Dietz, All Talk with Kevin Dietz, or JR Afternoon with Ryan Armani. I'm happy to be in the middle of that sandwich, but you start your mornings too with JR Morning, and then stick around for Album in the afternoon, as well as Sports Wrap and all the other great programming here on WJR. Let's see here. Vice President Vance, I think, is probably done speaking in Auburn Hills. The worldwide threat to homeland hearings are underway. There's just a whole bunch of them there's like 4 different hearings underway right now. It's what it seems to be what they do best right now.
Right.
Is sit around and pontificate with hearings.
It's
what do you think?
Yeah, it's a hearing that could have been an email. Like the old meeting that could have been an email. Yeah.
Most of these hearings could be an email, but people love to be on television.
You got to get your soundbite in.
It's still got that magic, you know? I remember doing television every day. I had a great conversation with Ryan Armani about this yesterday before he went on the air. But I used to do television in New York. I did it in Toledo. I used to fill in on Kelly and Company here in Detroit. That goes back a long way. And it is special. There's no question about it. But I mean, the biggest joke is your neighbor commits murder and gets arrested, and it's all televised, and then they make bail, and then you come home and your neighbor goes, "Hey, I saw you on television." It's kind of out of control. All right, here's a question for the team. And poor Rich, he's out there keeping an eye on WJR traffic and weather first, but he does such a good job. But he can weigh in on this. This Michigan city has one of the hottest dining scenes in the country. and has been named the 2026 Food City of the Year. Dun, 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 dun,
Detroit
dun,
seems
dun,
too
dun,
obvious, so I'm going to say Ann Arbor.
Dun, 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 dun. What are you saying, Daniele?
I'm going to say Grand Rapids.
Did Rich make it up to a microphone? Probably not. He's just running around doing what he's doing. Traverse.
Oh.
Traverse City is having a moment, no longer celebrated only for its blue-green Lake Michigan shoreline, white pine-lined inland lakes, and pastoral countryside. Weren't they also known for beer there? Weren't they like a beer?
Wine.
Wine
the wineries
capital?
on the peninsula.
They're
yeah.
the drunkest city in Michigan, is what they say. And that's based off of data of how many bars/wineries they have per capita.
Well, it's a good thing they got good restaurants to soak all that up. Then.
They need to eat. For
Yeah.
God's sakes, don't just drink, eat. So here we are. A city with just 15,000 year-round residents is called one of the most exciting dining scenes in the country. Isn't that amazing? That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Good for you,
yeah.
Traverse City. And that's not that far away. We can all take advantage of Traverse City in our summer travel plans.
Yeah, and I think that everyone who goes to Traverse City on a regular basis does have their favorite spots, so it does make sense. I really like the Jolly Pumpkin up there. There's other Jolly Pumpkins, but the one up there is unique.
Well, good for you to even remember to bring up a name. We've eaten there many times because we broadcast from up there so many times. I couldn't have named a restaurant at the moment. Are you all right? Your nose sounds plugged. Is this the allergy thing or what is this?
I don't know. It's just
You feel okay?
Yeah, still recovering from yesterday.
It was a lot of work,
Yeah.
but maybe you need to take a day off.
I'm a delicate flower.
You are a
Yes.
Of all the things I think about Mike Parsons, I don't think I've ever thought, Mike is a delicate flower.
My producer Mike is a delicate flower.
He's a delicate flower. All right, other quick news here. Airline bookings surge as travelers rush to lock in fares.
Right,
It's not a bad idea.
They could be going up.
Well, fuel prices, all that stuff. We are going to have Ed Bastian on, the head of one of I think the greatest airline, Delta, our hometown airline and the official airline of the Paul W. Smith Show and family. But Ed Bastian, Nick DeMarco, Hussein Berry, and all the other folks we deal with, they are adding 10 new ultra-long routes in 2026 with up to 17-hour nonstop flights. 17 hours. Wow. God bless Delta and the whole Delta family. And, we talked before the end of the year last year, and he said, yeah, he'd love to come on. We'll talk, but there's been one issue after another,
Right.
and I don't want to bother him. I don't want to call and say, oh, I know you're in the middle of this and that and whatever.
And then, Paul, did you see the big meteor that boomed across Ohio the other day?
Yeah, I was hearing a lot about it, and then we saw it in the news last night. You sent me a story on it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ignore it.
No, that's all right. There's so much other stuff going on.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. Did the tornado drill go off at 1:00? That's what I want to know. I didn't hear it. I got headphones on.
Yes, and there might be an encore performance here because there's a little mix-up. But
what can you tell us?
Somebody sent a drill before the actual drill, so that's why we test people.
Is there a emoji that goes like this? I thought I saw one. Is there one that goes like this? Ouch!
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
man,
one
that
where
hurt.
they're covering their face. Yes, that one sounded painful. Don't hurt yourself.
I forgot my Michigan ring is on that hand, and I hit my head with
Paul,
my
you're bleeding.
ring.
My God.
If I pass out, you guys take over.
Yeah.
Other quick things. Senate opens bitter dispute. What else is new there? U.S. drivers see gas prices jump almost as high as when what's his name was president. That's it. We'll stay on time here. We'll make everybody happy. It's 1:13. Paul W. Smith in Focus, WJR. I kept saying I need to call Victor's for my spring roof inspection, right? And I kept saying it. I'm like the shoemaker's son who has no shoes, because now we have an issue on our ceiling. What's wrong with me? I say this all the time. It's like when I would come home from the studio and Kim would say, "What's the weather going to be like?" And I go, "Gee, I don't know." And I probably read the weather 50 times that morning. It's just the way it is. But with the weather warming up, it is time to start thinking about home improvement projects. And the most important yet overlooked spring home improvement project is getting your roof inspected to make sure it's still keeping the water outside of your home. Why is that important for the spring? Well, the freeze-thaw cycles of the winter can cause the shingles on your roof to become brittle and to develop tiny micro cracks in them. Now, that didn't happen on our roof. This is a flat section of like rubber-coated roof or something. I don't know what it is, where this problem is. We'll get it fixed. Call Victor's Home Solutions today before the spring rush hits and schedule a free 21-point roof inspection. They'll go over every square inch of your roof, make sure there's nowhere water can get in. This also allows you to catch minor problems early and fix them with an inexpensive repair. Repairing water damage from a leaky roof is far more expensive than keeping your roof maintained and making minor repairs along the way. If it is time for a new roof, Victor's has you covered. Prompt follow-up, on-time appointments, clear communication, perfect installation the first time. They also offer an industry-leading 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. So call today before the spring rains get into your home. 1-866-VICTORS, 1-866-VICTORS, or online at victors.com, victors.com. Now, if you wish, I wish I would have seen Paul smash himself in the head. You could be watching. Facebook and YouTube pages are live streaming now. So if I do that again, don't miss it. We continue and focus on WJR.
This is a test of the emergency alert system.
Escape to the greens with the Cardinal Stay and Play Golf Package at St. John's Resort. Enjoy luxury accommodations and one round of golf for two on the beautiful Cardinal Golf Course, plus unlimited rounds on the Little Cardinal and the putting course. Whether you're sharpening your short game or chasing the perfect drive, it's the ultimate getaway for golfers of every level. Relax, play, and make unforgettable memories. Book your stay and play experience today at stjohnsresort.com.
You know, I was doing a podcast with Chris Alberta from Principium talking about planning for retirement, and boy, did he bring home a great point. What age should I have come to you and said, hey, Chris, I may only be 15 years away from retirement, but what do I need to be doing now?
There's a guesstimate there. There's no doubt about it. I mean, if you look at your actual bills and then you look at what you actually spend on an ongoing basis, you know, going out to the supermarket and having the occasional restaurant, taking a couple of vacations, those things, that number is an average. And I always tell people, look, let's run that up by 10, 15% just to be on the safe side. You're never going to know the number, but you got to get close, because every day is Saturday when you retire. You are unemployed when you retire, and we got to be able to deal with that head on and stop being afraid of it.
Principium strikes this balance between conservatism and opportunity, and he's taken so much of his valuable time to explain to me how to get to that retirement space where I'm comfortable and that it delivers on the joy that I hope it will. Call Chris Alberta today, 888-800-8949. That's 888-800-8949.
Spring is in the air. Hi, friends. Bill Golling here. And with the addition of Golling Chevrolet on Michigan Avenue in Wayne and Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Mack in Detroit, now even more of you can see and experience the Golling difference. Those dealerships join Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram locations in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, Golling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham, Golling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Golling Toyota in Warren, Gowling Kia and Meta sites, or you can always find us at gowling.com.
Whitaker Logistics is looking to bring on owner-operators with later model trucks, fleet owners, and highly qualified company drivers throughout our Midwest region. If you're an experienced driver willing to run in a regional market, our customer base provides a work-life balance and dispatch flexibility second to none. In addition to our flexible work week configurations, ask about our contractor compensation, as well as our company driver benefits. Talk to our recruiter at 866-711-1390 or submit your application at drivewhitaker.com.
No matter where you look, rising costs are hitting Michiganders hard. When you're forced to make tough choices, keeping the lights and heat on shouldn't be one of them. Consumers Energy is stepping up, giving back $5 million to assistance agencies and supporting efforts to increase energy assistance dollars for families in need by 50%. And with personalized energy savings programs, you can take steps to start reducing your energy bills today. Count on Consumers Energy for support. Learn more at consumersenergy.com/help.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in my garage over 15 years ago to make custom blinds easy and affordable for everyone. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements. Thinking about a new roof? Make the smart choice with Weather Seal Home Improvements. Right now, when you replace your roof, you'll get a $500 gas card, a beautiful new roof for your home, plus $500 in gas. Yeah, that's a good deal. Schedule today at weathersealhomeimprovements.net. We've got an accident blocking your two right lanes on I-75 northbound at M59. Another wreck on M153 northbound at Haggerty Road. Please use an alternate route like Warren Avenue there. And 14 Mile Road, still closed in both directions between Drake Road and Farmington Road due to a water main break. Please avoid until further notice. Authorities are still unsure as to when that will reopen. We'll go ahead and let you know as soon as we do. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Not a bunch of precip over the next few days and slowly getting milder. Still think in the upper 30s today, mainly cloudy with a south breeze. Tonight dropping only to the mid-30s. Suburbs could get a little bit colder. And I think as we go through tomorrow, late morning into the afternoon, we'll see a little rain come in with the next clipper, 50. Friday, partly sunny, 55. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Weekday mornings, it's veteran storyteller and award-winning journalist Kevin Dietz, breaking down the headlines Michiganders are talking about. Kevin talks, and then you talk on All Talk, 9 a.m. to noon on 760 WJR.
Patrick DeHaan is now one of the most requested interviews ever, and I'd like to say we were there from the beginning. I think we have been. He's our gas buddy. He is the head of petroleum analysis at a Gas Buddy, and we have leaned on him, depended on him. Now, so have people all over the country and all over the world. Patrick, I hope this has not gone to your head.
I still make time for everyone, and I appreciate you having me back again.
Well, we appreciate you making time for us, that's for sure. Can you tell us, we think of what's going on in the world. For context, Iraq was producing about 4.5 million barrels of oil a day before the war started, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration. And now the near shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz means that around 20 million barrels of crude and oil products, which is apparently about a fifth of the world oil supply, choked off from the global markets every day. That's kind of a daily check thing, isn't it, Patrick?
Yeah, it really is. And the longer this situation drags on, the more, you and I are paying at the pump and even beyond the pump. Next time you go to the grocery store, the hardware store, the mall, wherever you buy things, it's going to be more expensive as diesel prices now are above the $5 mark, and that's the first time since 2022. In fact, earlier today, the national average, which now at 386 is virtually the same as what we're seeing in Metro Detroit. The national average is now at its highest level since 2022, and oil prices up another 2% today. We continue to just kind of watch this get worse, and not a whole lot of terrific news on when it could potentially get any better.
Tell me something that I clearly have misunderstood. I remember hearing the president say something to the effect that because of his drill, baby, drill, we, the U.S., had all the oil we needed, and we were not dependent on these foreign countries, and some of them are enemies, and that we'd be okay. Whatever happened to that?
Well, unfortunately, the price of oil is the prevailing force. The president's not wrong. We're relatively insulated from supply disruptions as the world's largest oil producers. But something that most Metro Detroiters can understand, too, is that, home prices, to equate home and oil prices, home prices in Metro Detroit just don't go up on one street nor in one community. They've gone up across Detroit over the last 5-10 years. And it's the same kind of system. Oil prices aren't just lower in some areas or some countries. It's higher for everyone. And unfortunately, though, some homes may have more availability. There may be more supply in one area of Detroit than another. Home prices have gone up virtually across the board. And that's the same for the price of oil is, there's a finite amount of it. And we're all globally, not just the U.S. Canada is seeing a surge in prices. Japan, Asia, China. You and I may have gasoline at the pump, but that doesn't insulate us from the rising price of oil, which is a global commodity.
Fascinating. As stock markets rose for a third day in Asia, South Korea's Kospi climbed 5%. Japan's Nikkei rose 2.9%, both helped by tech stocks. It's just kind of hard to figure how things go, but we do look at who has gone through the Straits of Hormuz or will: China, Greece, India, Pakistan, Turkey. What about the oil that is directly headed to the United States? I never hear very much about that. Just random attacks on random ships.
Yeah, well, and that's enough to keep the risk, elements there. Just the threat of something happening, is enough to really derail these shipments and keep them parked. I mean, if somebody said, would you go out on a limb and take a risk on $100 to $200 million cargo and risk, 20 crewmen to sail through there, even if you might not have insurance? I mean, and by the way, that is why insurance for the carriers are surging in price, because the risk element is there. That's exactly why we're seeing ships balk at that kind of opportunity. If you knew there was a tornado that was about to hit the road and somebody told you, hey, it'll be all right, you might be able to avoid it. You're probably still not going to risk the potential for damage. Nobody really wants to deal with insurance to begin with. And it's just the risk calculation is too high. And Iran continues to make threats. And to your point, there's a trickle of ships getting through the Strait of Hormuz. There are maybe some backdoor arrangements happening for countries that are friendly with Iran, but there is still a huge, huge kink in the amount of ships that are kind of waiting for the risk to improve. And I don't think it's going to, because Iran is now learning that they have leverage in a way that they may not have understood they do. So, attack a few ships, that is enough of a risk element to keep a lot of these ships from trying to make it through.
Am I hallucinating? But didn't I hear Patrick Jahan early on that we would be willing to have American warships escort these ships? And didn't I hear that some insurance companies stepped up and said they would insure these ships? I swear I heard these things a while ago.
You heard those things, but then you also heard about a week and a half later that the Navy was not prepared to offer military escorts to every vessel, and they're still not. And that's where, words, anyone can say words, but actions speak louder than words. And the U.S. military is probably much busier with what's going on in Iran than to offer hundreds of ships through the Strait of Hormuz and escort. And Iran has potentially promised to attack U.S. military and U.S. vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. So this is fraught with risk as well. And that's all of what this comes down to, is the element of risk is very high. And right now, because of that high risk, it's been extremely disruptive to the flow of oil globally, and that's had a negative impact on prices. And that's why you and I are paying more at the pump, and that's why diesel prices are surging and jet fuel prices, because the reality of risk.
Wise words always from Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis at Gas Buddy. And he reminds us, as we know, actions are louder than words. Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks for having me.
We always appreciate having you on, even if we're not thrilled with the news we get. Relentless positive radio, otherwise the best we can hear. Paul W. Smith in Focus on WJR.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZQL Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZQL Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZQL Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaid spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-714-9090. That's 800-714-9090.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report from Newsmax. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need this Social Security report from Newsmax. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Second opinions.
You get them with your health.
So why not with your wealth?
Your stock market investments deserve a second opinion.
At Henyon & Walsh, it only takes a second
to schedule your free second opinion.
Go online and search for Henyon & Walsh, the second opinion people. Investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Henyon & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Henyon & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
The highest performing school facilities start with premier architectural design. Wakely Associates is an architectural firm that has been serving Michigan educational communities since 1951. Whether designing for new or renovation of current facilities, Wakely is focused on designing high-performing educational spaces. This experience is invaluable to K-12 school districts looking to pass bond issues. Engage Wakely Associates Architects to examine your district's needs. Details at wakelyaia.com. That's wakelyaia.com. Escape to the greens with the Cardinal Stay and Play Golf Package at St. John's Resort. Enjoy luxury accommodations and 1 round of golf for 2 on the beautiful Cardinal Golf Course, plus unlimited rounds on the Little Cardinal and the putting course. Whether you're sharpening your short game or chasing the perfect drive, it's the ultimate getaway for golfers of every level. Relax, play, and make unforgettable memories. Book your stay and play experience today at stjohnsresort.com.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine.
But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
The Dan Bongino Show.
It's our movement, okay? It's ours. We built it.
Hard truths.
Remember, I just told you, flooding the zone with facts not related to evidence is not getting to truth, it's obscuring it. Don't accuse me of partisan bias here. This show tries to get to a truth lodestar by showing you things called evidence, not random facts unrelated to the point. Well, let's get to truth. Let's produce actual evidence. There's only one choice, man.
The Dan Bongino Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
See you there.
Wow, did you see this?
They're at News Media. What is that?
Well, they're a national publishing and consulting firm. Media professionals all read their stuff. But look at who they have in the top 15 of the best radio shows in the entire country.
Oh, Focus with Paul W. Smith.
Yeah. JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
And, of course, The Mitch Albom Show.
I guess that's what they mean when they say the great voices of the Great Lakes.
I always thought I had a pretty great voice. I really do.
Don't sing, hon. Don't. It ain't that great.
Barrett News Media says they're the tops in the country. Catch all of the great weekday shows and see for yourself. The great voices of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR. You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Well, we're seeing from the Israeli ambassador to the United States that, in fact, tips by Iran citizens guided Israel to the leaders that the average citizens in Iran would like to see gone. And slowly but surely, they are being removed, annihilated. But how long will this go? Don't know. And where will Iran go once those leaders are gone? Don't know that yet either. But we know getting rid of the Ayatollah and then the Ayatollah's son is really the right thing to do at this point because of the regimes that they've led and the terrible things they've done to the people of Iran, including the women, but everybody. All right. Keith Naughton is here, Bloomberg auto business reporter. Keith, welcome. Always a pleasure to catch up with you, sir. It's Paul W.
Thank you for having me on, Paul W.
Tell me what this means when a company, like in this case, this is an actual example, Ford Motor Company has authorized a plan to buy back up to 31.7 million shares of its stock, which is a small repurchase, but it's to offset the dilution to shares caused by its employee compensation program as well as other convertible instruments. I don't even know what that means.
Well, it is bonus time, as maybe you know, Paul W. And so a lot of Ford salary employees just received some stock compensation. There's also some convertible notes, loans that are coming due and have to be, the interest has to be paid. That can also be paid in stock. So issuing more stock dilutes the value of the stock. So the Ford Motor Company is trying to offset that by buying back really a modest number of shares. 31.7 million shares out of Ford's almost 4 billion outstanding shares accounts for less than 1%.
So we hear a lot of times about the profit sharing checks and things like that. Those are always the fine UAW workers that are getting those checks. What we're talking about is the Ford salaried employee compensation, which is a plan that has three components: a base salary, an annual cash bonus, and then an annual stock award in the company, if I have that right.
Right, and it's the stock award issue that they're trying to offset with this repurchase. And salaried employees did well with their bonuses this year. They got 130% of their bonus target because they are meeting the quality goals that CEO Jim Farley had laid out and the board had laid out. So because of that, you know, there are going to be more Ford shares out there. the company wants to buy them back so that doesn't have a dilutive effect, that it doesn't, reduce the value of Ford shares. When there's more of something, it reduces the value. When there's less, the value improves.
Keith Naughton is here. He is a Bloomberg auto business reporter. Now, what about the timing of this? And is this a good deal for shareholders? And if you were sitting on a pile of Ford stock, would you, first of all, would you be contacted by, I don't know, Ford, or however this takes place, would you sell your shares back? Or am I missing the point here?
They're going to do it in the open market, or they might do it with some large shareholders. It's unlikely that they're going to be coming at smaller shareholders offering to buy their shares back. They'll just do it in the open market. As I said, it's not a big buyback. Some shareholders would prefer more. GM is in the middle of a $6 billion stock buyback. This buyback by Ford will cost them about $375 million. So it's a big difference. But it should improve the value of Ford stock. The stock has been up a couple of percent since they announced this buyback on Friday after the market closed. So it's having a mildly positive effect.
As Keith mentioned, when companies do stock buybacks, it can typically boost stock prices and therefore shareholder value, because it reduces the number of outstanding shares, thereby increasing earnings per share. And frankly, it also signals management's confidence in their company. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing this, I don't think.
Absolutely. And for example, Executive Chair Bill Ford just bought a whole bunch of stock. And after he did that, you saw the shares go up. Now, the Iran war came along, and that's had a negative effect on all auto stocks. So you sort of have to deal with that separately. But before that happened, Ford shares were rising nicely this year, and they are still up over the last 12 months.
Well, there are some people within the sound of my voice that did very, very well on Ford back in the Alan Mulally days, when he chose not to get government money and all the rest of the people did. And even though the Ford stock went down to, I don't know, a dollar or less, I can't remember right now, but it was very low. They didn't go bankrupt. They didn't get government money, and people who loaded up on Ford at that time, even if the stock just went to $11 or $12, did okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could have done well before the war broke out. You could have done very well on Ford stock just over the preceding 12 months. It was up almost 50%.
Oh, really?
It's still up. Yeah, it's still up about 20% compared to a year ago. So, the domestic auto stocks had been rising before gas prices went up with the war, and there's a return to selling the very profitable SUVs and pickup trucks that always benefits Detroit.
Well, excellent news. Anything else we need to know, Keith?
It's going to be an interesting time to navigate the uncertainties ahead with the war, but auto stocks have been doing all right here in Detroit.
Well, that's good news. And we're going to turn to you for more good news whenever we can. And even if there isn't good news, you'll make some up for us, okay?
Thanks, Paul W.
Thank you, sir. Keith Naughton, Bloomberg auto business reporter, in focus with Paul W. Smith on this Wednesday, middle of the week on WJR, Relentless Positive Radio.
Buddy's Pizza, the official pizza of NCAA tournament coverage on WJR. Buddy's iconic squares and crispy, crunchy corners have made memories in the Motor City since 1946. Celebrate 80 years of the original Detroit-style pizza at your local Buddy's today. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just beginning your art journey, Du Michel's invites you to discover something extraordinary this March. Explore an extensive estate jewelry collection including Cartier and Tiffany. Fine art from important private collections, works by renowned modern masters, and a curated selection of mid-century modern and traditional furnishings. Join online or in person March 19th and 20th with preview open now. Visit DUMOArt.com to learn more and bid. Du Michel's, your #1 place to buy art in the Midwest.
Be sure to start every Sunday at 8 a.m. with JR Sunday with Mark Hollis. Great interviews and conversations all in one place on JR Sunday with Mark Hollis, sponsored by Tryon, your payroll and HR solution. To learn more and to reach out to Tryon, go to RelyOnTryon.com.
Spring is in the air. Hi, friends. Bill Golling here. And with the addition of Golling Chevrolet on Michigan Avenue in Wayne and Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Mack in Detroit, Now even more of you can see and experience the Gowling difference. Those dealerships joined Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram locations in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, Gowling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham, Gowling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Gowling Toyota in Warren, Gowling Kia in Madison Heights, or you can always find us at Gowling.com.
You know, I was doing a podcast with Chris Alberta from Principium talking about planning for retirement. And boy, did he bring home a great point. As I'm looking at the price of coffee or the price of beef going up, it makes me anxious.
Yeah, and it should. Look, the reality is that when you have a firm like ours, we don't traditionally lose clients. So they're long, ongoing relationships, and communication is key. When someone calls me 6 months or 1 year into a plan that we've built, and they say, "Chris, we've been drawing $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month from our portfolio, but we're becoming a little bit uncomfortable. The savings account is becoming a little bit dry." Great. That's why we built it the way we did, because I know that if we're operating at a minimum and we need to twist that dial up, right, and really pad the coffers a little bit more, we have the ability to do that. My job is to tell you, if the capital you have saved up is not capable mathematically of providing the income you need, you either need to work longer or adjust your expenditures.
Call Chris Alberta today, 888-800-8949. That's 888-800-8949.
Detroit fans, the Lions are returning to international play, and you have to be there.
True Fan Travel is taking game day to the next level with the ultimate Germany experience.
Picture this, an all-inclusive, stress-free trip to cheer on Detroit and Munich.
You can join my friend Lomas Brown in Deutschland for a 5-night unforgettable fan experience.
Authentic German culture, exclusive fan events, and plenty of time to explore the country's dynamic city and historic charm.
From world-class beer gardens and traditional cuisine to iconic landmarks and electric football energy.
True Fan Travel will handle it all. Your flight, hotel, game tickets, tailgate, meet and greet, and more.
Take your fandom further and place your deposit today for Detroit in Munich at truefantravel.com.
That's truefantravel.com.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report from Newsmax. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need this Social Security report from Newsmax. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Whitaker Logistics is looking to bring on owner-operators with later model trucks, fleet owners, and highly qualified company drivers throughout our Midwest region. If you're an experienced driver willing to run in a regional market, our customer base provides a work-life balance and dispatch flexibility second to none. In addition to our flexible work week configurations, ask about our contractor compensation, as well as our company driver benefits. Talk to our recruiter at 866-711-1390 or submit your application at drivewhitaker.com.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in my garage over 15 years ago to make custom blinds easy and affordable for everyone. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Boeing at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Experience live professional theater at Thumb Coast Theaters in downtown St. Clair and Marine City, where the magic of Broadway comes alive right here at home. Don't miss Boeing, the hilarious comedy where one flight captain, 3 fiancés, and a flight schedule collide. Book your tickets today at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Watch out for a wreck on Ford Road at Haggerty Road. Use an alternate route at this time, like Warren Road or Cherry Hill. The I-275 northbound and southbound off-ramps to Ford Road blocked by that accident as well. Moving roadwork slowing you down on I-94 eastbound between Van Dyke and Vernier. That's until 3 p.m. Another midday work crew on I-96 eastbound between Kent Lake Road and Milford Road. Crews are scheduled there until 2:30 p.m. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
A dry, cold Wednesday afternoon. A south breeze, though, will start helping push temperatures up. Still unseasonably chilly today. Cloudy, 38. Tonight, 35. So we don't see too much of a drop. Suburbs might get a little bit colder. And then later tomorrow morning into the afternoon, a quick moving clipper will bring a little rain. 50. Friday, 55 and partly sunny. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
I'm going to get to this story first because it's so sad and I just want it to be behind us, but I can't not read it because I see on, you've seen it too. I don't do a lot of social media, but I do the Instagram. My Instagram is Paul W. Sminsta. I named it that because that's what the kids said at the time. It's Instagram, do this, blah, blah, blah. I had no idea, but I'm happy with it, Paul W. Sminsta. But I see other social media stuff come around, and we've all seen these wonderfully cute little situations with little babies and dogs. And I'm telling you, I'm sorry, it always makes me nervous. Do you know what I'm saying, Mike?
Yeah, and I know where you're going too.
Yeah, it always makes me nervous. And now we have this terrible little story in Novi where a 5-day-old infant was found dead with puncture wounds consistent with an animal attack at this Novi home yesterday morning. Novi Police Commander Bob Manar said officers and firefighters were called at 8:28 in the morning at the home. An unresponsive infant. Quote, a family member reported finding the infant injured with puncture wounds. Those wounds appear to be consistent with an animal attack. The commander said the infant, a 5-day-old female, indeed did die. He could not say if the girl's family owned a dog, but confirmed a dog was removed from the home. Obviously, the incident continues under investigation. I know that people would not ever knowingly put their infant, their baby, their toddler in harm's way. But it does seem as if we have to remind people sometimes that no matter what, as much a part of your family you think that dog is, it's still a dog.
Yeah, and it really, I mean, really, it's also a failure of supervision as well.
Supervision, training, access, it's all too many things. I had to read the story just to remind people about these sorts of things that do happen, even if they don't happen often or we don't hear about them often. I needed to bring that up. That's all. The not annual, but every 2 or 3 years, Selfridge Air National Guard Base has a fabulous air show. Very, very popular. It's an air show and an open house. Now, it was scheduled to happen again this year in May, but it is now being canceled due to, quote, operational and readiness requirements. And that show draws thousands to the base in Harrison Township and is held every, 2 to 5 years. It was scheduled for this May 30th and 31st and had already been promoted with some performances of at least a couple of key performers. But Brigadier General Leah Volker, commander of the 127th Wing and Selfridge Air National Guard Base, says the cancellation is due to operational and readiness requirements. And that was a press release from the base, according to the story in the Detroit News, the award-winning Detroit News, and Ann Snabes, who reported that. The 127th Wing is a unit of the Michigan Air National Guard. It's comprised of over 1,400 uniformed air personnel. So there's that. Quickly, I'm never a guy who's trying to take away people's rights. But I brought this up the other day, and I don't. If you've yelled at me on Facebook, I haven't seen it. I do have a Facebook page. Have no idea how to access it.
It's very
And
popular. You wouldn't know, but it's very popular.
Maybe I should start looking at it. Maybe you'll tell me after the show how to do that without screwing up my phone or my computer. But I went on a rampage briefly about raw milk and why that's a big deal.
Right.
When, take advantage of science and pasteurization, which was put into place to protect us. It's not a bad thing. Now, I know we've gone overboard with chemicals, and I understand organic and not wanting fruits and vegetables and other stuff just jammed with poison, basically, just so they can make more of it to increase the crop. I understand and appreciate that. But in terms of milk, come on. And now look, I mean, this is a perfect timed story. The FDA has urged Raw Farm, I don't know anything about them, to voluntarily recall its raw milk cheese after identifying it as a likely source of an E. coli outbreak.
Wow, who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, right. But the company has declined, which means they must have good lawyers because they're going to get the hell sued out of them for presenting a food product that they say is safe, or they shouldn't be selling it, and apparently it may not be. E. coli linked to cheddar cheese made with raw milk. Folks, it's not worth it. Pasteurization is a good thing. Now listen to this. For those of us who loaded up on our forever stamps, this doesn't make us feel good. The United States Postal Service chief saying the 250-year-old agency could run out of cash within a year. How many times have we heard things like that? 1 million times.
Right.
One of these days, they're going to mean it, and they're not going to get the help from Congress they need, and we're going to be in trouble, those of us sitting on all those forever stamps. So my suggestion is start using your forever stamps.
Well,
quickly.
and also, I thought it was a given that the post office runs at a loss because it's run as a service, not a business.
Why would that be, though?
Well, because people need the mail.
Yeah, but can't somebody come up with a way of doing this service so that it at least breaks even, if not even, God forbid, made money?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
FedEx does, UPS does.
Yeah.
Why can't USPS?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they have to operate a little cheaper for people who can't afford the private services. I don't know. That's a good question. Guessing
All
here.
right. One that we will ask somebody in the days ahead. What we're doing right now is getting ready for JR Afternoon with the one and only Ryan Ermani. I hope you had fun yesterday, Ryan.
Paul, let me tell you, anytime I am at an Irish pub having a couple of beers, seeing people, well, I didn't actually drink the beer, but it was...
Did you have beer? It occurred to me, and I thought, I probably shouldn't. But if you would have, that would have opened the door for the rest of us.
Right. I did not, but I did see it, and it looked good, and I'm glad everybody had a good time, but it was great to see you as well. And man, the people that come out to see Paul W. Smith is incredible, and I was happy to be a small part of it.
Oh, come on. It was great to have people there to party and to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and a tradition that was started by J.P. McCarthy 41 years ago. But it occurred to me after I figured that out, he must have done it about 10 years, and I've done it about 30 years. If it's 41 years, I'm thinking, wow,
that's
we've been doing it a long time, and I'm glad you were there, and I'm glad you did your show. What's going on today?
We're going to talk about Operation Epic Fury, everything going on with our NATO allies, and how the war is being covered. I'm really excited to talk about that part of it.
Well, there's a lot to talk about with that, and I'm not surprised that the newsman in you is coming through. JR Afternoon up next with Ryan Ermani. Stand by for news. Regards, Paul W. Smith.